Hey everyone, this is Elisha Goldstein coming to you from my office in Los Angeles, and I just wanted to take a moment to answer a question that a lot of people have, which is really kind of like what mindfulness is really and how it can help you fall back in love with your life. And because there's been so much science, so much hoopla, so much magazine covers, special editions around it that let's get real about what it actually is and maybe what it isn't. But really how if practiced effectively, like anything else, like practiced effectively and with some level of repetition can really help you fall back in love with your life. So before I get to that, I just want to tell you a story that happened to me, which was how I came in touch with this work in the first place, where I found it from. And it was many years ago, over, let's see, almost 20 years ago now, that I was in San Francisco. And, at the time I was working hard. Now I'm a psychologist and a mindfulness teacher and an author and these different things. But before that time, I was working in downtown San Francisco. I was selling telecommunications to businesses and to business owners and knocking on doors all over San Francisco, trying to get in touch with the CEOs, the CFOs, whoever would be the person to sign, to sell my long distance lines to, or to sell my digital data lines to, or whatever. And I was managing sales teams, but at the same time, I was I was playing a whole lot harder. And some of you might have heard this story before, and it's a story that really kind of changed my life. And I was massively abusing drugs and alcohol, and eventually I came down to a single point where I told my friends that if you ever find me, with this particular guy who we saw in the clubs a lot and seemed to be kind of out of his mind, I've hit rock bottom. And so there I was, in the back of a broken down limousine, and I was with him, and I was just trying to get something from him that would help me stay up so I can stay awake for work the next day. And it was in a moment where I was kind of waiting for him to go get whatever it was that I needed, and that I realized, like, whoa, this is it. I've really hit rock bottom. That's it. And so I decided to get up and I walked back home, because you could do that in San Francisco. And then I got a recommendation from a family member of mine to go away to this adult retreat. And it was there that I got in touch with somebody, this man who came up to me and said, I want to do something with you. And I said, what do you want to do? Because I was totally skeptical about, even being at this place in the first place. And he goes, I want you to just entertain this for a moment. And he held up an orange. He said, I want you to really take in this orange with all your five senses. I want you to look at it. I want you to smell it as if it's the first time you ever did this before. And, he said, just entertain it. And I said, okay, fine. I'll entertain it. And so I bring it up and I look at it and I see all the dimples. I see the color. I peel it. And the first thing I noticed was the zest pop up that was there. And as I saw the zest, I remember kind of being taken back because I hadn't seen that before in the membranes and the orange and that. And then finally, as I was going through, I was getting kind of more and more immersed into this experience of it. And then finally put it in my mouth, and poof, an explosion in my mouth. The best orange I ever had in my entire life. And he said, "What next?" And I really enjoyed this. And he said, "What would the days, weeks, and months ahead be like if you had a little bit more of that?" And I said, "I guess it would be pretty wonderful. Yeah, give me more of that." And so then after that whole experience was over, I went back to the corporate world and fell in about a week or two, fell right back into my habits. But a seed was planted, and I decided that to eventually leave the community I was in, leave the industry I was in, and go back to school and begin to study this stuff with more intensity and more discipline. And as I did, what I realized is that I've learned a ton of skills. I've had a ton of experience, whether it was the application of mindfulness now to my own stress, to my ability to parent with a sense of groundedness and effectiveness, to my awareness how to be more focused and productive and effective so I could be more successful in my work, to my relationship with my wife. It has applications across all these areas. And that's not saying that's a panacea. It's like, practice mindfulness, your life will be amazing. But it's funny that, it's interesting anyway, maybe not funny, but it's interesting that Awareness is really a skill. It's a skill like playing piano. It's a part of the, there's a part of the brain that you could actually strengthen. It's like playing piano or playing guitar or anything like that. You practice and repeat something with intention and repetition, and your brain memorizes it as a procedure. And you do it in particular contexts, like in parenting or at your workplace or in relationship to money or in relationship to your significant relationships or anything like that. And your brain connects that repetition, that procedure with those contexts and remembers it more in those areas. But that takes intentional practice and repetition. So as you do this, you begin to realize what you're needing more and you're paying attention to yourself. In other words, what you're saying is, I'm important enough to pay attention to. And imagine if you had surrounded by a group of people around you, you all felt like all understood you and cared about you, and you're feeding yourself this stuff with repetition. So your self-worth builds. You start realizing that you can pay attention to the things you enjoy in life, and you can reduce the things that actually that you're suffering with. So you can reduce the suffering, even though pain might be there. You reduce the suffering, you amp up, enhance the joy in life, and you begin to fall back in love with yourself because you're feeding yourself love all the time in that way. So I wanted to give you that, and I want to give you a tool now that you can use to bring into your daily life with this. And so this is a very basic practice, and there's only 4 letters to it, and you may have heard of it before. And if you haven't, or if you have, sometimes you teach something and someone says like, "Well, I've heard that before. I'm not going to do that." But the question is, are you using it? Because if you're not using it, you don't really know it. And so my challenge always is like, now bring it into your life with practice and repetition and see the gifts that unfold from it. Okay, so this practice is very simple. It's called STOP. STOP. Very simple practice. I have it on other YouTube videos and stuff like that. Taught it probably thousands of times at this point. And it stands for stop. Take a deep breath, or take as many breaths as you need in the moment, depending on what the circumstances, and observe your experience, which always includes 3 things: how your body's feeling, what emotion you're feeling, because your emotion influences your perceptions and your thoughts, and also the quality of your attention. Are you distracted and is your brain cluttered up right now, or are you able to focus and be here? And so I want to give you this. I want you to experience it if you haven't, or even if you have, come along the ride with us right now. This will be just a couple minutes, and just see what you notice. So bring a beginner's mind to this. See what you notice. Fall back in love with your life. Give yourself this gift. Okay, get in a comfortable position, and you're welcome to do this with your eyes closed. If you'd like to keep your eyes open, perfectly fine to do that too. No problem. And start off, we're just kind of stopping. And we're taking a deep breath, maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth initially. It's almost like that. Those breaths are releasing any kind of holding or tension that's there. And just being aware of your body here, moving to observing your body, noticing the positioning of your body, and also how your body's feeling. If it's tense or if there's any holding anywhere, and if there is, notice how with that awareness you can allow that to soften or adjust your body, do a gentle stretch. Also noticing how you're feeling emotionally right now. Being aware if you feel comfortable or uncomfortable. Maybe there's a more nuanced emotion like anxious or calm or frustrated or at ease. And then being aware of the quality of your attention right now. Are you here? Are you aware of your body, your emotions? Your body naturally breathing, or are you distracted by something else? Either way is okay. Once you notice you're distracted, you're actually here and can gently bring your attention back. And so now just taking one final moment to just take in how you're feeling right now. And also just acknowledging the active choice of taking time out of your daily busyness of your life for your own learning, health, and well-being. Just some moment of acknowledging yourself for taking this time. And so bringing awareness to your face. And if your eyes are closed, gently letting the light seep through, opening your eyes. Okay, so that was a stop practice. Stop, take a deep breath, observe how you're feeling, proceed. That's the tool. So take that, practice it a few times, once a day, 1, 2, 3 times a day. Practice it when it's not a chaotic moment, and then you can bring it into the more chaotic moments of your life to actually help you dial down your nervous system at the same time. But there it is. So I just wanted to let you know, like, really kind of like in my mind, like what mindfulness is, how it can help you fall back in love with your life. If you want, take it from my story of how I was able to kind of really realize how I can dial down my nervous system and really enjoy life more, and begin to apply this with practice and repetition and have it spread out into all these different areas of my life. The application of parenting, the application around my work to become more focused and effective and productive, the application around my own stress, or to be able to be more aware of what's good in life. The application across the United States and more for educators and bringing into our kids. We'll leave that for another video. So take this. I hope you enjoy it. Practice that tool, and let us know what you think. Okay, bye for now.